This is London Tech Week and we are at Climate Tech. I am joined by Lucy Cooper, Head of Innovation at Accenture across Europe. Lucy, you have just chaired a fantastic panel around the Climate Tech City of the Future. So tell us, what is that going to look like?
Yeah, well, thanks, Ollie, and thanks so much for having us today. So, City of the Future, three kind of things really that we heard today. One, behavior change, more important than we think and probably harder than we know. It's going to be about cost and habit. Number two is data-driven. So we can't make clean cities if we can't measure everything that we need to measure in order to make it clean. We're probably a little sort of 5 years behind probably where the data needs to be, but open data, open collaboration and open data ecosystems are going to be fundamentally important. And then thirdly, I'm kind of going to, cheat a bit and say there are sort of two things in the third bucket, energy sources and infrastructure. And so these are kind of maybe two of the big elephants in the room. How do we deliver the infrastructure that's needed to make the changes in clean energy? And that's everything from how far do you have to truck goods in and what kind of energy sources are you using to get there? So we finished a little bit talking about nuclear and hydrogen and some of the other energy sources.
Covered a huge amount. Fantastic conversation today. What's your message to the large corporates in the world who need to innovate but sometimes find it very, very difficult?
Yeah, I mean, well, this is my job. This is what I do every single day, is helping sort of the Fortune 500 innovate. And really, there are kind of two massive areas that we just see over and over and over again. And the first one is culture. So if you don't create psychological safety from the very top, this includes the board all the way down through the organization, if you don't listen, if you don't harness creativity, if you don't change the way you incentivize people, then you're never going to get the behavior change that's required to innovate. So culture is really important, and actually having the right experts. So we want everyone to be more innovative, but we need entrepreneurs in residence, we need venture capitalists, and we need to deploy them and create the environment for them to be successful. So that's one thing. And then the second thing, which is so boring but so important, is all the governance. So, procurement, legal, finance, HR governance. Are you creating the conditions for change that's going to be really important? Because there's not one corporate, Ollie, that I come across that doesn't know exactly what needs to be done to innovate, that doesn't have tons of really fantastic ideas, but the sort of corporate governance has got the better of them and they get tangled up. So you need to focus on the culture, you need to focus on the conditions for corporate governance, and then you need to just inject as much velocity into the process as you possibly can, and run as many experiments as you possibly can, and then de-risk through that experimentation process so that when you're spending the 100 million, you're spending it on stuff that's been tested, that is going to work at scale.
Fantastic, and a really healthy reminder about the G of governance in ESG as well. Now, I wish we had a bit longer today, but I have a question for you, Lucy. You've been supporting Climate Tech today in person. Anything you can tell us about this alliance going forward?
Yeah, so we're thrilled to announce that we're going to be the innovation partner for Climate Tech for the coming 12 months. It's massively important to us at Accenture from an innovation perspective, because we have an ambition to be what we call Europe's most impactful innovators. And innovation, of course, is massive and you need it to be profitable, but actually where Accenture stands is that it has to be purposeful. And so we say it has to be in the service of purposeful, sustainable and scalable outcomes. And Climate Tech's all about that. It's all about purpose, sustainability and scale. So we're going to be supporting for the next 12 months on putting out points of view and provocations, creating groups of people to come together, big companies, startups, founders, to help us really get that community and network together that's going to help solve those problems. We're going to be accessing and leveraging the hive that is coming out of Climate Tech to make sure that we're really driving forward in the decision making and really helping to bring some of those big business names to the table. So super excited.
Fantastic. So a really powerful alliance. Accenture backing Climate Tech. Lucy Cooper, really good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is Climate Tech at London Tech Week. Stay tuned.